Hello and welcome. We are now starting our first game and we are in Sea Duckling Open, number 123, our monthly diamond tournament. I am Kuro and today I will be bringing you this match as we have a few players today. And so we will be going into double elimination bracket, but we'll get to that in a second as we are starting our first game on Crimson Court. It is in the bottom left corner, our orange Terran player. First up, it is HollowGhost. And across the map we have our blue Protoss player. Presenting himself and Korea, it is Mitsurugi. Mitsurugi you may recognize from one of our previous tournaments, as actually this is a player that has changed their name. Before we have had this player in our tournament and he was then called BMC, Yanmaru Clem, which is interesting considering he's not even playing Terran. But at the same time we have our Terran player doing something cheeky, putting these barracks away. Obviously this is no cheese strategy, just I think to confuse the opponent a little bit. The scouting probe did not see the barracks, so now Mitsurugi will be trying to find out if there is a proxy on the map, but actually, yeah, not checking around the bases of HollowGhost. I wonder if he knows. No, I think that probe is checking. I think he thinks there is a proxy on his side of the map, but there is none. It's just a bit of a mind game, and I mean HollowGhost does win that one. But this is just the beginning of the game and it shouldn't change too much in the end. Other than that scouting probe just, diligently going around Mitsurugi's part of the map. And HollowGhost has an easy time expanding thanks to that, because we have no probe harassing the workers. Now I hope everything is working. I still have only one screen to work with, so I hope the scenes are correct and everything, but if not, then chat yell at me. I will not see anyway. Yeah, now that we have a second... Ooh, actually the Reaper is going straight into the mineral line. Looks like they will be causing quite some damage here. The Stalker is now here, but only one probe going down, two probes going down, and... yeah, this is very nice bit of damage. The Reaper does survive this encounter as well. And what about the scouting though? I mean, HollowGhost sold most of this base, not all of it, but at this point there is nothing too out of ordinary to be scouting yet, so... overall, nice little bit of damage there. But now the Stalkers are going across the map. There is a bunker ready with one Marine in it. I mean, not a scary army, but should be enough for now. But yeah, once again, welcome. This is a monthly tournament for players Diamond and below. As the Stalkers actually just sneak past the bunker. Oh, the Marines won't make it to the safe spot. And yeah, this barracks built so far away from the middle of the base is actually in danger. The reactor will be going down. And this is the entire army that HollowGhost now has. He is working on a Cyclone, so he will be able to eventually deal with these Stalkers, but I mean, it looks like... will he be even losing these barracks? I mean, he's losing the Marines that are popping out of it, but yeah, it looks like even the barracks may be in danger. The Cyclone is not here. Mitsurugi doesn't notice it immediately, but he has 3 Stalkers here, so this is nothing to joke about. The Cyclone gets focused. One of the Stalkers gets quite low, but it's not low enough to bring it down. And once again, only 2 Marines are here. The SCVs are now getting off the line, trying to help. And it looks like just barely HollowGhost will be able to stop this harassment, but that was quite some nice damage there from Mitsurugi, slowing down the build-up of the army from HollowGhost. At the same time, he was able to make more Stalkers at home, and they will be going across the map. He has no warping point, unfortunately, so there are no reinforcements, but he will keep the pressure going. At the same time, HollowGhost is working on Cloak Banshees now, so I assume they will be going across the map to do some harassment of their own. And now with the tank being done as well, the Stalkers, oh, they actually will focus the tank and the CVs are not there in time. The tank is going down, the Stalkers are moving forward and going straight into the main base. Once again, there are not many Marines present because of that barracks being so damaged and delayed. The Banshee comes out, but it is spotted by the Stalkers, already quite a bit of damage on it. The second tank pops out and I think that should be enough to defend, but actually I'm not sure that's true. 2 more Stalkers are still remaining and the second tank falls down. The Banshee gets denied as well. This is some really serious damage there for HollowGhost. Mitsurugi does lose all of the Stalkers in the end, but that was really nice. Like 2 tanks already falling. What did we lose? We lost the Banshee, Cyclone, 2 tanks, 8 Marines, and the delay on the production as well because of that reactor being down. That's some really nice damage. At the same time, Mitsurugi has the time to progress his tech. He's still having more Stalkers, but he's also working on Immortals. He's setting up his Twilight Council now. The Reaper will try to get an eye on that, but yeah, this oh, actually this is not a wall. Funnily enough, this is not enough to make a Reaper wall, and the Reaper gets right in, gets a scout of the entire base. But knowing is only half of the battle there. I mean, the good part is, while the marine production was slowed down, the economy was perfectly fine for HollowGhost. The factory production was fine, so he's able to remake the tanks that he's lost. But yeah, basically the tanks will have no support. He's working on marines now, but he definitely won't have as many as he could have had this harassment on the beginning not happened. So we will see how that goes, because as we saw, Mitsurugi is not afraid to focus the Stalkers right on the tanks. For now it looks like he's feeling safe enough to take the third base. And he will be moving out. So what do we have? We have 2 tanks, we have third one in production. Oh sorry, fourth one is in production, the third one is in the main base and it looks like it will be moving now. Oh, where is it moving? Okay. Will it actually... Oh no, okay, we are preparing for the blink into the main. I don't think there will be one, there is an observer, but I don't know if that's what Mitsurugi wants to do. But yeah, with these tanks now being spread out, he has to be very careful because these Stalkers are already damaged. Yeah, that is definitely a no-go zone. Despite the quite scrappy beginning, it looks like HollowGhost is holding his bases very well. And these tanks are enough to stop Mitsurugi from further aggression for the time being. So hello chat. Hello Stick. Hello Wormchick. Wormchick? Yeah. How do I even read that? It looks like it's a Polish word with English word mixed up. But hold on, the thought. The Terran is now moving forward. They're actually catching few of the Stalkers. There is no blink yet, so they could have not been saved. The rest of the Stalkers is racing the Terran army to the base. And this is quite formidable force, but there is a lot of Protoss here as well. The tanks are quite back and they're still sieging, but once they start dishing damage on this army, yeah, this is actually really strong push from the Terran. Colossus is on the way, but I don't think there are any out quite yet. No, we're still waiting for that first Colossus to come out, and the third base is going down. Good charge is not quite finished yet, it's only halfway through, and this army of the Terran will be poking at the Protoss, trying to force the army out of the range of the shield batteries, out of the Sim City of the base, and you know, just slowly leapfrogging the tanks forward, keeping them spread out so they can be ambushed. Very nice position there from HollowGhost, and He is pushing on Mitsurugi, but now the first Colossus is out, and this bio army will be less effective, but now that I say that, like, half of that army is Marauders. This is quite Marauder heavy army, so they actually shouldn't be too bad versus the Colossus. And we have reinforcement as well. Most of the army is focusing on the spread out tanks that they will be able to take them down, but the bio army still stands. The Widow Mines as well, damaging the Zealots mostly. The Marauders still going forward, the Immortal falls down, and so will the Stalkers. Another warping of Zealots will have auto, and HollowGhost has to move back. In the meantime, he was taking his third base, and now it will be in danger, but the reinforcements should be able to help with stopping the Protoss from this attack. Although that one Colossus definitely is quite scary. We have Vikings now too to join the battle, and the Colossus falls down. It's just the Stalkers and Zealots. The Zealots can be kited, and they are being kited right into the minefield, and this is it. HollowGhost will be taking game number 1. GG, well played to HollowGhost. Again, it was a very tense beginning to his series, but he was able to, you know, bring it back. His defense looked solid once he got it going, and yeah, he was able to take that series. I see the casting tool has not refreshed. There we go. I have the correct race for HollowGhost. Okay, let me make sure that I'm actually the observer and not the player. I don't have the required games, so I could not play. And we are now ready to dive into game number 2, which will be played on Golden Aura. And welcome to Golden Aura LE, as we are looking at the first of our player, the Orange Terrantler. I misclicked. Anyway, this is the Orange Terrantler, it's HollowGhost. And on the other side of the map we have our Blue Protoss player, Mitsurugi, but also known as BMC or Byanmaru Clem. I'm really good at this, I swear. So again, we have that scout moving out, and this time HollowGhost keeps his barracks in his base. No proxy shenanigans of any sort. Yeah, so this time Mitsurugi will be able to harass the workers a little bit. Oh, this SUV is getting pretty low, but it is saved just in time, and HollowGhost will be able to finish the barracks without too much of a delay. Same time checking out what his opponent is doing, and no, nothing out of the ordinary quite yet. Looks like this time we will be going into more standard game actually. Have the Reaper on the way. Nice and early base for Mitsurugi there. I say early, it is after Cybercore, so it's pretty standard, pretty safe. Factory coming down for HollowGhost, so no early marine aggression. I remember the last SDO, or was it MSO? We had a lot of you know, multiple racks aggressions. It looks like we're going into more calm game this time. The Reaper just checking on the base, not even scouting all of it, just mostly poking at Mitsurugi to see what he can get. And we already have a Twilight Council, this time much earlier than in the previous game. It's something that HollowGhost definitely would want to scout, but the Reaper unfortunately is taken down. At the same time, across the map we have Widow Mines coming out and Starport on the way, which I assume can only mean there will be some Widow Mine drops. I do wonder how good Widow Mine drops are now after the patches. No. It is a bit easier to spot them, but we'll see if Mitsurugi will be paying attention to that. Or if maybe HollowGhost can get some damage done. At the same time, from the side of the Protoss we have Blink already on the way, so it will be definitely a weapon to use. I mean, we saw in the previous game that Mitsurugi is not afraid to get on top of the tanks. So I assume that Blink will be really useful for that. Only 2 Widow Mines in the Medivac, so not the most committed drop, but still may be able to get some damage done. At the same time we're getting 2 more racks, so there will be 3 racks constantly producing. Yeah, Mitsurugi does not have any units on the map right now, so he won't be able to spot this drop. And I mean, he has Blink, but all of the Stalkers are on the front, so the only way he can save the probes if he just manages to pull them away, and the Widow Mines are dropping now. Oh, he pulls some of them, but not all. Okay, that was a nice pull of the single probe. The Stalkers are here, but the Widow Mines are not. That one Widow Mine did actually not shoot and was able to be saved by the Medivac, but now it's being dropped again, and ooh, it got 4 probes. I mean, not the worst, but definitely not what HollowGhost was hoping for with that drop. It looks like Mitsurugi is now ready to attack. He has that Warp Fuse, he has Blink done, and he will try to see if he can get anywhere with that. There are tanks already, but only 2 of them are protecting here, but we have a Raven as well. Will definitely help in the defense. Ooh, but the Raven goes a bit too far and is immediately sniped. Really nice pick off for Mitsurugi. Nice little scout with that attempt as well, knowing exactly what is in the base. And yeah, Blink is straight on top of the tank. Mitsurugi really loves doing that. The Marines are dishing out a lot of damage, but it's not enough to stop all of those Stalkers. It's just moving forward. They're on top of the production of HollowGhost, sniping the add-ons first to make sure there's less units coming their way. The SCVs are forced off the line, but yeah, the Stalkers have a way out. They're just jumping through this Reaper cliff. 7 SCVs are already falling down, and more will fall as they are pulled to the front lines to repair the bunker. But oh, slightly more powerful than the Stalker's attack, but it will... They will eventually be overpowered as the warp is in the back is still warping reinforcements, and yeah, this is not looking good for HollowGhost. The Stalker army is actually really powerful here. Another tank coming down, and before it can even siege, already Mitsurugi getting on top of it. There's not much left for HollowGhost, and Mitsurugi will be tying up the series 1-1. Really nice and sharp there from Mitsurugi. Nicely done. So I'm quickly setting up the lobby. There you go. Yeah, that was really nice. Like again, like I just love that Mitsurugi just blinks on top of tanks every time. He's not afraid. He's almost... I always want to say he's close to patience, but like we also know that patience was, you know, the opposite of his name, and sometimes his blinks would not quite work for him. But this was really nice and clean there from Mitsurugi, and he was able to tie up the series. As a reminder, this is a best of 3. And the winner of this series, let me see. The winner of the series will have to wait for an opponent. It will be either Kacpeross or Boulickjr. Okay, our players are ready, so let's go. Welcome to map number 3 of this best of 3. It is Posthuv, LE, and we're looking at our orange Terran player. It is HollowGhost. And across the map we have his opponent. It is the blue Protoss player representing Korea and himself, Mitsurugi, also known as BMC. And what do we see? We see, Muppies are discussing something on the bench. But actually what we see is an SCV moving out with the barracks. That was a very weird accent that I just pulled off. But yeah, we actually have a proxy from HollowGhost coming up. It's an interesting spot for a proxy. I guess it will be Reapers coming up. The question is, it is just one rack, so I guess it will be just the scouting Reaper proxy, I guess? Yeah, it has to be, right? Otherwise there would be more than one SCV. But recently Terrans have been doing that thing where they proxy one racks, they send the scouting Reaper, and then they just go home. Guess to, you know, make the trip for the Reaper a little bit shorter. I am still on the fence whether or not that is actually useful, but sure. And ooh, now we know why, because, you know, with all of these bases being taken, because obviously we have this half gold here that's very juicy, there will not be any units on the map for Mitsurugi, like no fighting units at all, so that Reaper being here that much faster can actually be devastating. But we will see, because still microcontrol can save you a lot. And we'll see what HollowGhost can do in this short window that he has. The Reaper is now in the main base. The probes are still mining, but they are being disrupted with the charges. The Stalker is being chrono boosted. It is now out. And that is it for that Scouting Reaper. He was able to take down one probe and damage some other, but it doesn't look like it will be doing more. But at the very least, it is escaping with its life, so it will be able to dive in later. And now the Rags have to slowly go back home. Oh, this poor SCV being stuck outside. Chat, you were supposed to yell at me. Nobody told me about the scene. Yeah, you're too quiet, chat. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, I told you have to yell because otherwise it won't get through the screen, you know. Anyway, we have Mitsurugi going for the blink. I hope you enjoyed that radio cast. Fortunately, nothing too big happened. We have this Reaper over here chilling. For those wondering, the proxy was right here where HollowGhost put it, and yeah, the Reaper just jumped in, hit a few probes, and jumped out. But yeah, it looks like Mitsurugi is trying to go for a similar style he did last game, once again going for that earlier Twilight Council and Blink. HollowGhost this time does keep an eye on it, with that Reaper still being around the bases. And he is preparing. He's getting those tanks ready. No drops coming this time. We're going straight for the defensive style, straight for the army. Oh, Reaper diving in once again. Okay, chat. I'll write a note to self. Make the stream deck buttons brighter. So I can actually see if I'm on the right scene, okay? I'll do it. Anyway, the Stalkers are now moving across the map. Mitsurugi was able to take this third base, and there's no pressure inside to stop him from doing so. And there's... we don't have a warp visit. No, we are still working on the Drobo, so there is currently no warping points for Mitsurugi. We don't have an observer out either, so no blinks will be happening here. Ooh, and running straight into the tank range, or the one of the Stalkers down. And again, because there are no reinforcements here, like this army won't be able to do much with the defensive position that HollowGhost has. Like this looks like a fortress. He is also aware of the third base going down as he just scanned across the map. And it looks like, yeah, we're gonna just have regular bio tank coming up, and Mitsurugi is preparing for that as the Robo Bay is down, and we will be working on those Colossi soon, I assume. Ooh, but HollowGhost is moving out. These few Stalkers will be alerted to that, but they have to escape with their lives because this is quite a formidable army. There is no third command center for HollowGhost, so this will not be just a, a force to defend the third base, I believe. Yeah, there is no third base coming up. HollowGhost is just going forward. He wants to take the third of Mitsurugi. Well, these two Stalkers are very brave, but they have to be very careful. The 4 tanks are nothing to joke about. The Zealots are helping out, running straight into the army. The tanks are being taken down. 2 of them are down, but the army of the Protoss is also getting smaller. Only 1 tank is left, but the bio is left over still. And What do we have? We have 4 Stalkers and mostly Zealots here. The Zealots do have charge, which is definitely great for Mitsurugi. But still, he cannot move too far away from the shield battery. But with the defensive Warpins joining in, HollowGhost knows this is not enough to break the defense right now, so he decides to regroup. And now we have the first Colossi on the field. Again, we have a lot of Marauders in this army, so it's not quite as squishy as the Marine heavy ones. But it's still always, Colossus is still always a great asset, and the tank at the front once again will be focused, but it took a while to take it down. At the same time, the Colossus is very low now, one shot and it will be going down, and so it does. Yeah, Mitsurugi moved a bit too far forward in that defense, and now HollowGhost is closing in. 2 tanks from different sides are now in the range of the batteries. Of course, Mitsurugi is blinking on top of one of them, but there's still more army left over. It looks like the Protoss will have just enough to take it down, though. Oh, focusing the medivac so there is no escape for this bio army. The reinforcements will actually be caught here with the what is it called? You know, the rest of the army of Mitsurugi at the tail end. There is a name for this, right? I'm not crazy. There is a name for like you know, like part of the army that like stays on the back. It's escaping my mind. Okay, Stick, do you want to talk about having a single screen for all of this? Okay, I told you I reached the age of being a grumpy person. We can talk. Kidding. That's a very interesting spot to put a sensor tower. I guess it does give you vision, but not if you're not able to finish it, as the Soakers will deny it. And instead, HollowGhost decides to go for a drop. As the army of Mitsurugi is focused on the front of the base of HollowGhost, it does not spot the drop coming out. Instead, just going forward, and actually, HollowGhost is in danger. All these Stalkers are blinking straight in. The Colossus are damaging the production, and there's not enough army here to stop this. Where are all the tanks? We have not remade the tanks that we lost in the attack. They're not even on the way. Oh no, HollowGhost, what happened? He is dropping across the map, but this is not enough, and GG is called. Mitsurugi will be taking the game number 3 and the series. Oh, that was actually surprising. I have to check what happened, but HollowGhost, it looks like he did not remake the tanks that he lost in the attack, and Bio Army alone could not stand up to this army. Yes, I'm quickly switching the scenes. Yes, I definitely remember. They're really nicely done there from Mitsurugi, and Mitsurugi will be moving on. Reserves? Yeah, I guess the reserves, maybe? Okay. So I'm trying to see where I'm at. Currently have another match ongoing on Europe, so I'll try and see if we can maybe get to see that. But in the meantime, let's look at our bracket indeed. There you go, I can make it a little bit more zoomed in. So yeah, looking at our bracket, it looks like our other players are in the game, I just checked. Yeah, Mitsurugi takes down HollowGhost 2-1 and will be now waiting for the winner of Kacpeross I'm sorry, and Boulickjr. From what I hear, Boulick is from France, so maybe I'm completely butchering the name. Oh. Let's see if I can maybe get an answer. Okay, so it looks like we will have our next series currently being casted. We're gonna join into the series happening currently at EU. It will be Kacpeross versus Boulickjr. Let me try to spell it properly. Junior. There you go. I'm not sure what race they are, but they are from GTA. And I was just updated that it is currently 1-0 from Kacpeross. As a reminder, Kacpeross has played in a few of these tournaments before. And he has won some of them as well. In fact, I want to say he won both an SDO and an MSO, right? Or was it just SDO? Oh, I would have to check that. Okay, hold on. We have a map. Oh. Oh. I can't type. Oh my god, I really can't type. Okay, so fun fact for the chat. As I'm trying to find our map. Fun fact for the chat, when I'm observing games, I'm actually using the right side of my keyboard, but when I'm playing, I'm using my left. So because of that, whenever I try to type, I actually have to like reach all the way to my left side because my keyboard is moved compared to where it normally is. So funny things are happening. Okay, and our players are ready. I switched the scene, chat. The scene has been switched. I got the colors. I didn't even notice the colors. But anyway, we are now on Ghost River Alley, and we have the first of our players. It is representing Poland and Team Void, Kacpeross. And on the left hand of the map, we have the newcomer, I believe. It is the red circle representing GTA team. And France. It's Boulickjr. Now, chat, this is my question to you. Is that like an original name, or is that a reference to something? Because for some reason it sounds familiar. Or maybe it's like a pun that I'm missing, or maybe it's a joke on the caster and I'm saying something weird right now. Well, let me know. Let me know if you know the origin story. And we are going for a pool first here. Which is, I guess, not surprising against the Protoss. But we'll see what Boulickjr wants to do with that. We are going for those 6 Zerglings on the beginning. I guess maybe he will try to sneak into this wall. But Kacpeross does have an eye on the base, so he should be making sure that that wall is tight as soon as possible. Oh, I see. I see. Well, the probe has seen most of it as well, and it looks like we have a really thick drone here that is coming across the map, and yeah, everything is coming across the map. I don't know what happened in game number 1, but this is definitely a spicy game number 2, as the probes, the drones are arriving, and there is a solid wall already. There is a Zealot in the wall as well, so there's not much they can do about that. They will try to surround that gateway maybe and get some damage on it. 2 Adepts are currently on the way. One of them is being chronoed, and we'll see. We have no shield batteries yet. They're currently being made, but they are not really there to save the buildings from the damage. The Zealot does go down eventually. But the Adept is now out, and the drones are starting to fall. We have 5 dead already. More Zerglings are coming in, but this is all the units we will see from Boulickjr, as he has no mining at all. Completely zero. And first of the gateways falls down, but we have 2 Adepts, we have 1 shield battery, and ooh, the Zerg does come in. Now the Adept can get surrounded, because that would be definitely not a great position from Kacpeross, but with all these losses that we have witnessed, I think he held. Yeah, one of the Adepts does get surrounded, so that's quite scary, but 11 drones are going down, and now there are no Zerglings left. Sorry, there's 1 Zergling left. Actually taking down the Adept, but that's the last Zergling. The hero Zergling takes down the last of the Adepts. There are no Adepts on the map, but there are no drones either. There's literally 1 drone, but it's not enough, and Kacpeross will take game number 2 and the series. Well, that was definitely a spicy game there. Makes me kinda curious how the first game went. And let me double check, but we are still in the... yes. Best of 3. So, yeah, with that, Kacpeross will be moving on. And we're going back to Americas. So with that, we have our next matchup set up. And we will be already going into the upper bracket finals. So I'm trying to set this up. Here we go. But yeah, this is quite an intense rush that we've seen in the last game, and with that we're now moving to our next series, and I believe both of these players have met before. Okay, I have to actually check the previous tournaments, because I'm getting a bit of a deja vu. Yeah, so last SDO was Kacpeross, but what will happen in MSO? Because I think they met in MSO. Okay. Kacpeross did win the last MSO, but they didn't actually meet BMC. When did the BMC play them? Hold on. The hole in my memory. Oh, there you go, there you go. SDO 121. It was BMC versus Kacpeross in the finals, and back then Kacpeross won 3-1. As a reminder, BMC, also known as Bielmaru Clem, is Mitsurugi. They decided to change the name to, you know, make it a bit easier for all of us. And it looks like they will be meeting once again. As a reminder, this is a monthly tournament for Diamond and below, so if you are in the ranks of Diamond, Platinum, Gold, Bronze, Silver, if you are in any of those, then feel free to sign up. We don't have brackets ready for the next edition yet, but it is already on the calendar, so you can mark your calendars, get ready, and once the bracket is out, sign up. As this is a monthly tournament, we generally try to have the bracket ready a week before the event. So the best way to be notified about when the brackets are going out is to join our Discord, as our Discord is generally updated with all of that kind of things. We sometimes even post news on Discord earlier than on social media, because it's just easier to keep it organized. So yeah, if you want to be in the know, then make sure to join our Discord. Exclamation Discord in the chat. Or exclamation socials in the chat. Okay, our players are ready. We have a PvP on our hands. Ready. Kacpeross is ready twice, so he's very ready. And welcome to Ghost River LE, as we're looking at the first of our players, and it is the blue Protoss representing Team Void and Poland. It's Kacpeross. And across the map we have his opponent, the red Protoss player, representing himself and Korea. It's Mitsurugi. And speaking of name origins, what is Mitsurugi's origin? Is that like a character from an anime? Does that mean something? I think Mitsu means free, but I don't know if that's how it's spelled. I assume it's Japanese, but I can also be wrong on that. So, if anyone in the chat has an idea where that name is coming from, then feel free to let us know. Oh, was that an attempt of a gas steer? That was very cute there from Kacpeross. And Mitsurugi did not fall for it. The probe did protect the gas. But Kacpeross is not letting go of this base so easily, and will stand in the wall to make sure that it's not being protected. I wonder if that means that he's going for the adepts. We'll see, we'll see. The course should be ready soon. I think Mitsurugi is going for double Stalker, and Kacpeross is going for double Adept. Calling it now. Am I right? Look at that! Look at that! I actually guessed something correctly. I mean, again, like, this probe suggests suggest adepts to me because it's clearly protecting the wall to make sure that the adepts can get in. And we have seen in the previous match how much Mitsurugi loves his stalkers, so all of this really made sense. Oh, but this is interesting. Kacpeross actually goes for a Stargate. I don't know how much I see Stargate in a PvP. I guess Phoenix Wars are a big thing, but yeah, we'll see where we go. Mitsurugi, meanwhile, is opting in for a robot. So I guess Immortals may be on the way soon, or maybe just, you know, some War Prisms. The Adepts are now here from Kacpeross, and they will meet the two Stalkers of Mitsurugi. They're trying to shade in, and ooh, the wall is protected, and the second pair of Stalkers is there as well, so Kacpeross is not getting any damage. Maybe he can get, yeah, we'll get this one probe and actually decides to recall. I mean, it's not the worst recalling that early on, because it will be a while before you need the next recall, hopefully. So it's not the worst that can happen, but you also use a bit of energy that you could have maybe used for a chrono or something. So, you know, it's small things, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And yeah, we have the first Immortal from Mitsurugi coming up, but I don't think Kacpeross is going for a big ground attack right now. He instead makes that Oracle, and he will try his best to get some damage done. The Stalkers from Mitsurugi are on the front, so it's possible for him to get a few probes. There's no shield battery or anything. But I doubt there will be a lot of damage. Together with the Adepts, it may be a bit better, but there's no second base to harass right now. Mitsurugi has not expanded yet. Kacpeross did build the Nexus, and he's slowly saturating it, but Mitsurugi only has one base. He's focusing on the army right now. He spots the Oracle, I think, but yeah, no reaction there for quite a while. And 5, 6 probes going down, 7. Ooh, nice focus fire there from Kacpeross as well. 9 probes going down for that single Oracle, and looks like just barely it will be able to escape as well. That's some really nice damage there. But that also, you know, pokes the bear. That is Mitsurugi. Mitsurugi is not a bear. I don't think it means a bear. But anyway, the armies are going. They will actually meet in the middle of the map. Mitsurugi's army definitely looks much more scary, as Kacpeross only has the Stalkers and a few Adepts. He's trying to warp in more, but Mitsurugi definitely has an advantage, and he has the Immortal too. Plus, with the Warp Priest being present, he has a warping point that the defender's advantage doesn't really matter. The shield battery is going down, and it looks like Kacpeross will be losing all of his army. The Oracles are back to try and help out, but they are being sniped by the Stalkers. Another warping from Kacpeross, and he's just trying his best to save this, but he's not able to, and Mitsurugi will be taking game number 1. GG is called, and the aggression for Mitsurugi definitely pays out. Okay, we have our next map picked out. Probably after the character from the fighting game Soul Calibur. There you go. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Alive in the Wild. I mean, makes sense. A lot of people name themselves after characters from games or anime or their favorite shows, so it will be the first. We are now ready for game number 2 of this winners finals, the upper bracket finals. The winner of this series will be going to the finals, which means that they will be already in on the prize pool, because as a reminder for this tournament, the top 2 are getting paid, guaranteed. No matter if they finish first or second, they will be going away with a little bit of prize money. Oh yeah, that's definitely what I wanted to press. Don't worry about it. But we are now on our second map, which is oh no. Alcyone? Alcyone? There are many versions of this map, but this is the map. And in the top right corner we have our blue Protoss representing Team Void and Poland. It's Kacpeross. And across the map we have the red Protoss representing Korea. It's Mitsurugi. Is this right? Once again, Kacpeross going across the map. Just doing some harassment on the workers of Mitsurugi. I like how Mitsurugi just immediately goes to snuggle that gas, like, no, I know what you're doing, don't even try. So, yeah, I feel like definitely someone did that to him before. And Kacpeross still being annoying, he definitely... It's one of these players who, you know, has the spare APM in the beginning of the game and is trying his best to harass the opponent. Now, I don't think we will see 2 adepts from Kacpeross again. I feel like because of how... Yeah, I don't think he's trying to be aggressive again, but it may still be. We'll see. Yeah, we have 2 stalkers from both sides. So, not quite as aggressive as last time. But still can do quite a bit of damage if they want to. Now, very cheeky from Kacpeross, leaving a pylon in the wall. Forcing Mitsurugi to have to find his way out of his own base. And this time it's Kacpeross going for the Twilight Council quite early. Mitsurugi has not picked his tech yet, but right now he is dropping that robotics facility. So I guess once again we will be going for Immortals. I mean, it did work out for him great last game. The panel suggests that he wants to expand this time, so maybe he won't be as focused on the army, but we will see about that. I don't know what you're doing. Okay, chat. Look. Taking names from a show or a game is one thing, but we know that it was a big thing for a while for pro gamers to just name themselves after like the first item they see on their desk. So, you know, it could be worse. Anyway, Kacpeross is going for the blink. Preparing more gateways as well, so it looks like he is hoping for some aggression with his stalkers. Mitsurugi once again not taking the natural base. He's chasing away the probe as well, and yeah, I don't know if Kacpeross was able to scout the natural like recently. Maybe like he saw the pylon and assumed that there is a base there, or maybe he has not reached the base at all, but Mitsurugi made sure to chase away that probe, so Kacpeross can't get too much information. But yeah, once again, we have that void prism? Warp prism on the way. Void Brews are a thing, but in the campaign. And it looks like once again Mitsurugi goes for the aggression. Now Kacpeross is alerted to it, but we have a probe in the natural, so I don't think it will be as committed as previous game. What does Kacpeross have for defense though? We have one sentry, we have a bunch of stockades, we have shield battery already prepared. The Warpiece will definitely be helpful for Mitsurugi though. When the sentry is immediately focused, wasn't able to get any help there. Nice micro there from Mitsurugi, saving the stockades with the Warpiece. There is no blink for him yet. The battery overcharge is being enabled, and the Immortal is not being focused by Kacpeross actually, so it will be able to damage quite a lot of these stockades. But at the same time, Mitsurugi's stockades are falling down, and that Immortal will soon be alone. For now though, it's not been damaged at all, not even the shield, so with the backup warpings from Mitsurugi, this is a really strong position that he now holds. He will be able to take over the natural of Kacpeross. Kacpeross is trying to warp in more units, warp in more stockades, but he's very low on minerals at the moment. He's only able to warp in one at a time, and the natural base is slowly falling down. And GG is called. Mitsurugi is taking game number 2 and the series. Very aggressive. Mitsurugi definitely chose violence today. And with that, Mitsurugi will be taking the series, and he is advancing into the best of 5 finals. So with that, let's take a look at our bracket. Of course, exclamation mark B if you want to see the bracket for yourselves. We have a Wikipedia page as well, in case you would like to see the flags of our participants as well. And as we can see, Mitsurugi, also known as BMC, is now advancing into the finals, and he's waiting for his opponent. Meanwhile, Kacpeross is moving to the lower bracket finals, so he still has a chance to bring this back. He still may have his rematch versus Mitsurugi as well. But before that, Boulickjr is fighting HollowGhost in the lower bracket in a best of 1, and the winner of that series will be facing Kacpeross next. So I'm gonna quickly check where our players are at. Yeah, meanwhile, before HollowGhost got to this series, he did take down Dave Litos 1-0. So unfortunately, Dave Litos is out of the tournament. But as an important note, as a reminder for this tournament, as well as other tournaments organized by us, each of these participants, as far as I can see, all of them have played at least one full series, and that is the rule. If you play at least one full series, you are eligible for the random participant raffle, which means one random participant, no matter if they finished first or last or second or any other placements, as long as they played in tournament and didn't leave like mid-series, they are able to take part in the raffle, and the raffle is $5. So, you know, not a big prize, but just something, a little bit of extra luck for the week. as we are still setting up for our next series, so I think this is a great chance to take a little break, make sure that you have your water, you have your snacks, and get ready for our next series, as we will be right back. See you then. And welcome back! Our players are now ready, our lobby is now ready, and we will be loading into our game. As a reminder, this is a lower bracket match, it's still a best of one match, so only one chance for either of these players to advance. We are now on Ghost River, LE. And we quickly switch that up. In the top right corner of Ghost River we have our red Zerg player representing GDA team and France. It's Boulickjr. And on the left side of the map we have our blue Terran player representing Team Solid. It's HollowGhost. Now I'm curious what we're gonna see in this TVZ. We saw HollowGhost before in TVP, and he was very solid. I mean, I guess as his clan name suggests. His defense was generally really good. Unfortunately, it did not win him a series, but it definitely looked like a very strong competitor. Meanwhile, from Boulickjr, we only were able to see one game where he was extremely aggressive. So it doesn't say much about his skill, you know, like every player has like these like really crazy games every now and then, and like it's hard really to grasp their level just from that. But it looks like this time we will be going for something a bit more... Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say standard, but then I see 2 gases for a Zerg already so early. I'm like, no, we are not standard whatsoever. So I'm very curious what Boulick is gonna bring us. It is of course that early Roach Warren, because you know you don't really need all that gas for the Zerglings, so it is definitely skipping some steps to go into the faster tech. Fortunately for HollowGhost, he was able to see it, so he should be getting prepared, and he is building that bunker at the wall. Boulick does see that, I believe, as well. Yeah, he just barely sees the bunker in production. So yeah, we'll see how he will prepare for that. Again, we saw that, like, considering defense, HollowGhost is pretty strong. He has this nice defensive position set up, he spreads his tanks well. But we'll see if Boulick maybe is able to catch him a bit off guard. For now we have the Reaper, confirming that the roaches are now on the way. We are still gathering more gas, we are making more roaches, and we are expanding at the same time, although with the current situation I don't even know if Boulick is planning to saturate the base or if this is more like a larva base. We have no queens, we are just going straight up for this attack. Meanwhile, on the side of HollowGhost, we have this bunker with 3 marines, which is not a lot, but it's something. We have second bunker on the way, the tank is now just started. It won't be ready for a while, but it may still be useful. Meanwhile, it looks like the Reaper is actually able to damage as Boulickjr is distracted with his attacking force. He's not saving his drones, he is trying to split them, but it's not enough to save them, and 5 drones are going down, there is absolutely zero defense here. At the same time though, this barracks is under attack and it's actually quite burned already. But the tank is now out and it's able to zone out these Ravagers. So Boulickjr is not really getting anything done. Oh, he's marching straight forward, but first of the Ravagers falls, the second falls, but at the same time he's able to snipe the tank, so very, you know, very dedicated move there, but with that all the Ravagers fall and the attack is stopped. HollowGhost did have to pay with a tank for it. But in the end, he did hold and he didn't lose too much. Meanwhile, Boulickjr is forced to transition now. He's still not making queens. That is probably the weirdest part of all of this. We still have a few Ravagers across the map. They're trying to hunt down this Viking, which is taking down the Overlords. It looks like Boulickjr is trying to see if he can get maybe something more with these Ravagers. But I don't think it's quite possible at the moment. HollowGhost has the time for his higher tech unit, he's making a Cyclone, he's working on a Banshee as well. At the same time, the Viking reached the side of Boulickjr, and that's the thing, because there are no queens, like HollowGhost actually doesn't know that there are no queens, but yeah, that game just goes to HollowGhost, as unfortunately Boulickjr was not able to transition after that all-in, and GG is called. HollowGhost will be moving on to the lower bracket finals. So again, that's a really nice and strong strategy that Boulickjr has tried, and it definitely has worked before for various players. So it's not a bad strategy per se, but it did not work out. HollowGhost did notice it a bit too early. He had the scout ready and was able to defend it pretty strongly. So with that, we will be going on to our next match, to our lower bracket finals, which will be Kacpeross versus HollowGhost. We are currently setting up for that series. As a reminder, after this series we will be having our random raffle. So if you have participated in this tournament, then make sure to stick around to see if maybe you are now richer by $5. So we are getting ready for our next series, which I believe is actually a rematch from today. Yeah. Actually, no. Kacpeross has not met HollowGhost before. It was Mitsurugi who faced him. So we'll see if Kacpeross will have similar experience with him or maybe not. So our players still need a little more time to set up. I mean, HollowGhost just finished his series, so he does deserve some time to make sure his setup is perfect, make sure he has some water ready. His hands are warmed up. And that's a reminder for you, chat, to hydrate your hydras and stretch your roaches. We will have time to drain the disruptors later, don't worry. Yeah, as a reminder, Kacpeross, our two-time champion of SDO already, I believe. In a row, no less. Let me quickly double check that. And yeah, Kacpeross has won all 2 SDOs that we had so far this year. The 121 and 122, and he also won an MSO, I believe, so really going well there. And we'll see how far he goes today. And the beeps are now going, and we are getting ready for the first map of our best of 3 series. Oh, please. Okay, for a second I was scared that my game crashed. But no, we're all good. Everything is fine. And we are now on Crimson Court. Ellie. As a reminder, this is a best of 3 series, the lower bracket final. And in the top right corner of Crimson Core, we have our blue Terran player representing Team Solid. It's HollowGhost. And across the map, it's our red Protoss player representing Team Void and Poland. It's Kacpeross. So again, we have seen HollowGhost in TVP today. But that was versus Mitsurugi. Mitsurugi is a very aggressive player. He really loves his blink stalkers. He loves his one base. I don't know if even I guess it is an all-in. One base is an all-in, but like he just likes the aggressive plays, you know, blinking on top of your tanks and the likes. HollowGhost though was generally very solid in those games. You know, he knows his defensive positions well. But we'll see how Kacpeross plays that, because he's not quite the same player as Mitsurugi is. He definitely likes his worker harassment, like that probe is already across the map, already trying to see if there's anything fishy, and he does notice that the barracks is definitely missing. Now, does he remember that the Terrans do hide their barracks? Will he check across around the map? He is checking around the bases of HollowGhost, which suggests that he probably knows that this may be a fake out, but he doesn't go quite in the direction where the barracks is. Nonetheless, he's still taking a natural. I don't think he's not chronoing any units, so I don't think he's expecting the actual proxy to come. But he's still scouting for it nonetheless, so you know, just making sure that nothing goes wrong there. Meanwhile, HollowGhost just progressing with his build, you know. I think by now Kacpeross has noticed the drags. Yeah, he has noticed the drags, so he knows that he is perfectly safe. He was trying to get down that SCV, but the Marine is there to protect it, and yeah, that will be that. Both players are able to just progress with their builds, get their tech up and running. And Kacpeross will be going for Twilight Council, so I guess we'll be seeing that earlier brewing once again. One adept is going across the map. I will see if maybe the Shade can get some scouting done, but I wouldn't expect too much, as There is a wall, there is a bunker, so... Yeah, just maybe the shade can get in. No, it is stop the time. I mean, I guess Kacpeross does get to see the factory. He doesn't get to see the starport, but at least he knows that things are progressing decently normally. And yeah, that link is on the way now. Ooh, a Hellion sneaks right into the main base of Kacpeross. Trying to fry some probes, but this is not a Blue Flame Hellion, just a regular one, and just one, so... It will take a while before it's able to take any of the probes down. Nonetheless, it is at least a very nice scouting information for a HollowGhost. And it's keeping the units of Kacpeross at home, so they're not harassing across the map. And we are going for a Raven, so no drops this game at all. Meanwhile, two adepts are moving across the map. They are spotted by that marine. There is now a tank, so they're not getting into this base. Oh, I think they're hoping to bait some damage from the tank. Yeah, one of the adepts goes in, but it's not enough to take the SCVs down. I'm not sure if that mule just died on its own or if it was actually taken down. Yeah, nothing major has been lost there. Kacpeross is taking the third base. It looks like we will have some Raven harassment from HollowGhost, as it's moving across the map and straight to the main base of Kacpeross. There are no defenses here. There's no shield batteries, no stalkers. They're all on the front. In fact, some of them I think are moving across the map, and this first turret will be dropped and the probes are defenseless. They are pulled quite fast by Kacpeross, so only 3 are going down, but still those are some annoying losses, and the Raven still survives. Meanwhile, the stalkers are moving across the map. Again, there is the tank there, so it will be very hard for them to approach. And Kacpeross is not missing a beat. Every time the Raven drops a turret, he is pulling those workers. But he wants to attack. He doesn't want his attention to be split between the bases. He can't really attack on the front, so he will try to go straight into the main base, and there are no tanks there yet. HollowGhost notices something is going on and he sends the bio army there. He will deal with that observer, so no future blinkings will be possible, and Kacpeross is forced to move away. And with that being dealt with, HollowGhost decides this is time to attack. I am not sure if Kacpeross is able to see that, but he is rushing home either way. Now that the Adept is meeting the army. Ooh, but the Raven goes down actually on the way back. And that's a nice little pickup for Kacpeross, but now he has to deal with this entire army at his doorstep. He does have Stalkers, he's working in Zealots. They just finished charged. The Zealots will fall down to the Widowmine shots though, and this Terran army is quite scary. Stalkers alone have a hard time facing the tanks together with the bio. The Robo Bay is still on the way, only just finished, so there are no Colossi in sight. First Immortal has finished, but it's not quite here to help. Yeah, it only joins the army now. Kacpeross decides to take the other third base, the linear one. And I mean, HollowGhost did move back home, so he will have time to do so. It looks like I think for the first time in this tournament we're actually gonna go for like a longer game. So far a lot of games were very aggressive, some of them were proper micro games, but still, like, you know, there was a lot of aggression from both sides. Meanwhile, This time it looks like both players will be a bit more careful. We have the double Widow Mine drop going across the map. It will definitely spot that new third base from Kacpeross. Decides not to drop there though. I'm not sure if Kacpeross was quite able to see the medivac. It doesn't look like he did. Oh, that's very brave from HollowGhost, going straight to the main base, or sorry, the natural base, and actually the medivac gets sniped. It does not get to unload. All the army from Kacpeross was right in that natural, and the medivac gets completely denied. It's an interesting probe. Having a bit of a scouting job there. And it looks like HollowGhost is trying to maybe get some multi-prong going with some smaller armies, but he scans the army of Kacpeross and it's there and it's ready. Second Colossus is now joining in. But this small squad will be able to deal a lot of damage to this new third base. A bunch of probes are falling down. At the same time, some of the army is trying to engage with the Protoss. Kacpeross is actually forced to split the forces and try to save the third base, but it just barely falls down. He split the forces, so it's not as many units here on the front, but it's enough. There's still 2 Colossi here, so it's nothing to scoff at. Oh, that second Widow Mine did actually hit the Stalkers, which was unfortunate. But it was not able to take them down, so nothing major. Third base once again is in danger as the drop is moving back and it looks like it will be able to kill this base, but it was just barely cancelled in time. So at least Kacpeross does not lose a lot of resources over it, but it's definitely painful to once again lose that base. He was able to establish the one on the front in the meantime, but he really wants to have more than that. These medivacs though are now trapped here and one of them is falling down. The second decides to try and escape. Oh, as we have some nice spotter pylons across the map. Kacpeross making sure that he knows exactly what the opponent is going to do across the map. And now we have Storm on the way, but yeah, we just warped in some High Templars. They are gathering energy already. And they will be joining the army. Oh, but once again, HollowGhost is very interested in this base. He decides this is the proper angle for his attack. And the main army will be going in that direction. Kacpeross still has quite a distance to traverse to get here for the defense. But he will be ready. He has the 2 Colossi here already. The first of them is getting focused by the Vikings though, and he's going down. The storms are here though. So that's why it's important to have different options for your AoE damage. And this bio army is now much more. It's already at half health. The medivacs are doing what they can, but they will run out of energy eventually. And Kacpeross just has to hold this position for long enough. There's a lot of marauders though, so they don't die to storms quite as easily as marines do. Once again, we have 2 Colossi in this army. There's a lot of Vikings though. The Colossi is getting focused once again and they're falling down. The Nexus is now in danger. At the same time though, we have a run by of Zealots in the main base of HollowGhost, taking down SCVs. So we're having a bit of an exchange of workers. Ooh, all these High Templars are exposed and most of them will be going down. We have now Ghost in the party as well, and with a nice EMP, these High Templars won't be quite as useless anymore. As useless as useful, I mean. Now it's just Zealots defending this front, and they're fighting against the Vikings, which they do pretty well, but in the end they're not able to power through, and looks like the Terran will be taking over this territory. Kacpeross is considering more run-bys, but I know he needs some army at home because he doesn't have much at all. He has that one Colossi, but he has no support for it whatsoever. He's working on an Archon, he's working on Immortals, but there's nothing here right now. Meanwhile, HollowGhost still has a big army. He has Liberators in the mix now as well. And he's expanding forward. HollowGhost now dealing with those scouting pylons, so Kacpeross will have a bit less vision. Oh, but the main army, oh actually no, this looks like more of a run-by, but like the main army is in the back there. Still, this army is mostly consists of High Templars, which is not great for Kacpeross. And HollowGhost realizes that. He's now moving forward. The Liberators are setting siege, and this base had to be cancelled immediately. Oh, nice storm in the middle of the army, but again, most of that army is Marauders, and they're not quite as afraid of storms as Marines are. Kacpeross is trying to snipe the Liberators with a few Stalkers, but he's not quite able to, and they are leapfrogging more and more forward, putting a bit of a wedge between the bases of Kacpeross. Some nice storms on the Ghost, but at the same time Ghosts are able to lay some EMPs on the Protoss army. This is a very tricky situation for Kacpeross, and he is able to deal with some of the Liberators, but there's still so much bio army left over, and he constantly has to hide in the shade of the shield batteries, but they are being dealt with as well, and now the Terran is moving forward. The High Templars have to be changed into Archons, and HollowGhost will be taking this engagement and this game. Again, as we established before, HollowGhost is really good at like, you know, more positional fighting, more defensive positions, and building up the army, and you know, and then setting up these attacks. As we could see, like, as his name suggests, he's pretty solid. He's not the kind of, like, you know, tricky, aggressive player per se. Like, I don't think that's his strong side. I think his strength lies more in those really solid builds, solid defense, you know, building up the army and going with it. Yes, we are now getting ready for our second game of the series. As a reminder, this is a best of 3, and the winner of this series will be going into the grand finals. Their opponent is already waiting for them. But they still have to go through this series first. And we are now going to Golden Aura LE. And in the top left corner of the map we have our Terran player representing Team Solid and taking the first map of the series. It is HollowGhost. Across the map we have our red Protoss player representing Team Void and Poland. It's Kacpeross. As usual, the probe of Kacpeross, or the moving across the map, making sure he can keep an eye on the progress of this game. HollowGhost, not going for any shenanigans this time, the barrack is where it's supposed to be. And yeah, we'll see how this game goes, because last game was very solid there for HollowGhost. Like, a lot of his like attacks, like maybe not attacks, but like his drops didn't really work out. Like, the harassment wasn't really working for him. Like, the Raven was generally denied quite easily. But the proper attacks, the positioning, everything, the macro, was going very well for him. So we'll see if he wants to rely on that, or he'll try something cheeky still. Meanwhile, Kacpeross is definitely more aggressive of the two, I would say. But he also likes a proper macro game. This SCV is very tricky, but it will be going down. Ooh, a bit of a misplaced Nexus. Nobody saw that, don't worry about it. The probe is finally being cleaned up, so no more harassing workers over here. See, people in the chat are mentioning the ESL region, the ESL Masters regionals, and yeah, that is still going on. It will be going on later today, so if you want to check out that premier tournament, then make sure to tune into ESL SC2. Now, on our channel, we will be covering the rest of Sea Duckling Open, and after that, we will be switching to World Team League. So, if you are interested in the happenings in the Team League, then make sure to stay tuned. Reaper trying to get some information here from Kacpeross' side of the map, but unable to get through the Reaper wall. And the Adept is chasing it away. Kacpeross once again going for Blink. So he will try to be a bit more aggressive. Can you see it actually? Yeah, he can just barely see that while I can't see, so HollowGhost is able to figure out what may be coming his way. Meanwhile, he is getting ready for an actual Widowmine drop. We do have 2 Widowmines already, and it looks like we will be getting more, so it may be a full 4 Widowmine drop this time. But the Adepts are actually getting in, and the Widowmines are being revealed. So Kacpeross should definitely be aware of the threat coming. He loses one of the Adepts, the other one survives, but no real damage done. The Reaper still checking what is going on. Kacpeross has his Stalkers prepared, so they should be able to catch this Reaper off and trap them at the cliff. As the free Widow Mine drop is coming across the map. I'm not sure if Kacpeross actually saw the Widow Mine shot on the Adepts. Because, I mean, it's entirely possible that he was not looking exactly at the moment that it happened, so... I'm not sure if he's aware. For now, all his stalkers are on the front and they're actually moving out, so it doesn't look like he will be able to snipe this drop before it comes. But we'll see if he's able to pull the workers at least. Yeah, he does notice the... Ooh, but he's actually attacking the Widow Mice for a second, but... Ooh, that was very close, but fortunately the probes are being saved. They are moving away. The Widows are still chasing them, but the control from Kacpeross is pretty nice. One of the Widow Mice is picked up. The other two are still burrowed. Yeah, that was a very tense moment, but... It looks like the Widow Mice will be dealt with. The sentry is actually shooting it in the ground. Don't worry about it. The Medivac meanwhile is still waiting for its turn and it comes back to the main base. Kacpeross is not looking. He thought he dealt with all of them and ooh, this Widow Mine. Ooh, 6 probes. That was a nice shot. Kacpeross tried his best to split them apart, but 6 of them did bunch up. So that was a very nice shot for HollowGhost and he still saved that Widow Mine, so... It will be waiting for the best moment to strike again. Meanwhile, Kacpeross is moving out this time, for real. Stalkers are marching across the map, but HollowGhost already has tanks ready and he's willing to meet him. The Stalkers are forced to go back. The Warp Beast does not back down though, and it looks like Kacpeross is planning to warp in some Zealots, running them straight into the main base of HollowGhost. The army of HollowGhost is on the front, chasing the Stalkers, so it's not here to defend. And 7 CVs are going down very quickly. The rest of them is evacuated. That was a very interesting charge. Kacpeross is trying to focus the steam and just barely is able to snipe it. There's no steam for HollowGhost. At the same time as the army came back to defend, the Stalkers are on the front and dealing with the bunker. One of the Widow Mice is going down as well. But now the tanks are back and Kacpeross has to be careful, but he's warping more Zealots and still trying to get more damage. The Widow Mine on Kacpeross' side of the map is still waiting. It doesn't look like Kacpeross quite noticed the Medivac on the minimap as he was busy with attack. So it's actually chilling right here, very close to this Stalker. And it's going in once again. Or maybe it's just going home. Oh my god. HollowGhost waited for the right moment and the Medivac is able to go home safely. Ooh, that was a lot of damage on the Warp Beast from the Widow Mine. Neatly placed there by HollowGhost, and that will be the end of this harassment. The Stalkers are still on the front of HollowGhost base, but with the army that's already here, I don't think they will be able to do much. At least they get that Medivac down, together with the Widow Mice. The one Medivac that was coming back home. It made it. It saw the army, it saw its brethren, and that's when it was sniped down. A very sad story. It actually is like very movie-like. We're like, oh, I defeated all these enemies in front of them. They were able to sneak past the enemy even though nobody thought it was possible, and then they get sniped as right as they reach their home. Very sad. Well, so is the War Priest that is going down now. The Zealots are still in the main base of HollowGhost, so they will be able to cause some havoc, but HollowGhost is setting up a position at the base of Kacpeross. The tanks are sieged, but they will be blinked on. And we have 4 Immortals backing this up as well, so they definitely have to pack a punch, but they won't be able to deal with the bio as easy. There are Zealots here for backup though, and it looks like Kacpeross will be holding this. The Zealots only just got cleaned up in the base of HollowGhost too, so it was quite decent for Kacpeross, but yeah, I guess in terms of loose resources, definitely Kacpeross is doing better there, but he also spent a lot of the army for this. He lost that War Prism as well, which will have to be rebuilt. HollowGhost is still trying to get some damage done, but he does not have a lot of units here, so it's mostly just poking at Kacpeross, seeing what he can do. The Viking production is on the way, and so are the Colossi, so both units, like the Colossi are already getting their counter ready. Another Widowmine drop coming from the side of HollowGhost. I keep wanting to say Hollow Knight, and I'm pretty sure that's where his name comes from as well. Oh, it looks like these Zealots just barely missed the army of HollowGhost. The main army of Kacpeross is hunting. Doesn't quite find the army of the Terran though. While the Zealots are now in the natural base and they are dealing with SCVs, a lot of the SCVs will be going down. Yeah, we have 11 SCVs going down. At the same time, the Protoss army have found this small force from HollowGhost and snipes all of the medivacs full of units, so the entire army is lost. But there are reinforcements at home for HollowGhost. The ghosts themselves are already here as well. They lay EMPs on top of this army, but this, yeah, not all of it, but some of it is definitely without shields now. The tanks are not here. And yeah, with SCVs pulled off the line, this is it. HollowGhost GG's, Kacpeross ties this 1-1. So we have now a tight series between our players. Kacpeross did not let go. Once he was able to get some damage done, he just kept pressing, kept warping in more Zealots, kept pushing forward, and he was able to take the second game of this best of 3 series. And we already have our next map. We just find it on the list. This will be the last map of this series. As a reminder, the winner of this series will be moving to the Grand Finals. And both of the finalists will receive a bit of a prize money. And welcome to Oceanborn LE, where in the top left corner of Oceanborn we have our blue Terran player. Presenting Team Solid, it's HollowGhost. And across the map we have our red Protoss player representing Team Void. And Poland, it's Kacpeross. I just realized, as I was mid-intro, that they have very interesting team names. Team Void versus Team Solid. It's a very... yeah, physics and the likes. As once again HollowGhost goes for that single racks across the map. I do not see a second SCV joining in, so I assume once again it will be that forward Reaper. Kacpeross does scout this, or he scouts the main base of HollowGhost, and he sees that something is not quite right. He is checking the Terran side of the map first to make sure it's not another one of these hidden barracks that are just you know, just outside the entrance. And he will be sending out more probes to scout to make sure he's not being cheesed out. And while, yes, it is just these racks, we also have something way more interesting over here. Also, map makers, please. I need this edge of the screen for my zooms. Please. Ah. Yeah, the thing is that, like, the map itself is actually bigger than what you see, and that's why you can sometimes, you know, go all the way to the edge, but if it's not, then that's how the zooms end up. But anyway, we have ghosts. Legit ghost rush on our hands. And a proxy one at that. I mean, Kacpeross knows that something is coming. Like, he knows that there's a racks across the map. He sees this Reaper. He actually surrounds the Reaper with the probes. Really nicely done. And the Reaper goes down immediately. But this is just an intro. Like, we're going straight for Cloak Ghosts. And Kacpeross is now pretty sure that something fishy is going on because there's no buildings in this wall. This wall is finished with supply depots, which means all the tech is somewhere out there. It's making stalkers, and we'll see if that will be enough. The first ghost is waiting. It's waiting for its friends. It's waiting for the cloaks for the cloak to be finished. The probe is still trying to get to the bottom of this, but it does get a CV, which is nice, but it won't be able to get any farther. And with two ghosts and the cloak finishing, we are on the move. Ooh, the Stalker actually does see the ghost, but I don't know if Kacpeross was able to see that. I think he was, because the Stalker is moving back home. He is following the shimmer on the map. The observer is out, and Kacpeross denying the ghost. I mean, the observer does go down, unfortunately, so this single ghost will have a bit of time. The second observer is coming out. Will it be sniped? It is not, and both ghosts are going down. Really nice defense there from Kacpeross. Very smart play to make sure to go for these observers. Judging by the reaction, I don't think he quite expected it to be ghosts, but you know, observers are very useful nonetheless. Yeah, he knows where the add-on is. Doesn't quite know where the building itself is, but still. He knows that the barracks are no longer there, so the attacks should not be coming from that place. But because HollowGhost was so focused on Ghost, that means he does not have a lot of army across the map, but at the same time I think it's enough to defend from 4 Stalkers. They're not this much of a formidable force. They may try to blink into the main base and maybe, you know, try some kiting to get some damage done, but I don't think it should be anything major. The observer is sniped as well. So it looks like Kacpeross will mostly just keep HollowGhost home, making sure that he doesn't expand too early. While at the same time he is working on robotics base, so it looks like we will be having the Colossus coming out sooner. Twilight Council is still on the way, so no blinks. The Warpriest is ready though. And with that we will finally have some reinforcement potential. HollowGhost decides that it's time to expand to his natural, but that's what Kacpeross was waiting for as he goes straight into the main base. He will not be able to deny this starport, but he will try to cause a bit of chaos here. But the army is quick to come. The army has arrived and will be fending off this aggression. At least it does give Kacpeross, you know, some time, some peace of mind, getting the third base. Nothing tricky is coming his way, except for this Marine. Yes. The war piece is still across the map, waiting for the right moment. It dodges the Viking, but there is a tank prepared, so yeah, I don't think this attack is gonna do much. Oh, that is really cute that Stalkers are dropped right on top of the tank and they are able to deal with it. The war piece does fall down, but at least there's one tank less for the Terran. And we actually have disruptors on the way for the first time today. So far we've only seen Colossi, but we will be having disruptors joining the party. Templar Archives is on the way as well, so it looks like Kacpeross wants to have all sorts of area of effect damage. Oh, and this observer will exactly meet the army of the Terran, so Kacpeross should be alerted that this attack is coming. He should be prepared. He's actually trying to meet it with his disruptor. That's very tricky. HollowGhost sends a Marine forward and will take the hit. Protoss army is ready, but the Terran has set up here. The tanks are dealing a lot of damage, but they are being left on the front and dealt with. And the Bio army alone can't quite fight against this army. There's only a single Viking in this fleet, so it wouldn't be able to deal with the Colossi in time. Now the rest of the army is being attacked as well, but not quite dealt with. The Zealots are sneaking by though. So we have a scouting Phoenix just chilling. Kacpeross has an observer in the natural base of HollowGhost and decides to move out. The Zealots arrive a bit too early, but the rest of the army is now joining, and HollowGhost is aware of it. Disruptors are going forward. They will try to deal with the Widow Mines at least. The Terran army collapses on the Protoss, and Kacpeross is forced to move back, but he gets a decent Nova on some of the army, but loses a Disruptor for it. Yeah, this is not going great. All of the Robo units are going down in this attack, so definitely not nice there for Kacpeross. The Zealots are sneaking by and are actually denying this third base. They forced it to be cancelled and also distracting the army a little bit. I don't think it's quite exactly what Kacpeross wanted though, as again he lost all of those expensive Robo units and he needs time to rebuild them. That said though, there's once again absolutely no tanks from HollowGhost. He does have some Widow Mines, but that's it. He has given up on factory units once again. He's working on his Bio army, but Bio army won't be able to stand to this. There are a lot of chargers here. We have Stalkers as well. And they will be massacring this whole SCV force. the entire mineral line, going down 25, 27 CVs. The two of these are saved just because the Zealots didn't want to finish them off. There's also some harassment going on across the map, but only 2 probes fall down compared to almost 30 of HollowGhost, and yeah, those are some major losses. Medivac just barely tries to sneak by, but it won't be able to as it does get spotted. And HollowGhost decides this is it. He's taking the rest of his SCVs. I'm not sure if he's leaving any behind. Just barely a few. He's mostly using Muse. And he will make his last stand, I guess. Again, SCV boost can be very strong, definitely from the Terran, but I don't know if this will be enough. I mean, the army from Kacpeross still looks pretty strong. He has this like ambush disruptors set up as well. HollowGhost decides to approach from 2 different sides, takes one of the Colossus immediately, which is definitely nice. The Nova unfortunately hits more Zealots than Terrans, I believe. The army of the Protoss is still standing strong. There are a lot of Marauders here, but also a lot of SCVs, and yeah, HollowGhost is trying to approach this very carefully, but the shield batteries are here, and I don't know how much damage he can do. His bio army is quite low, the Medivacs are not able to quite heal them in time, and now the Protoss is overpowering. HollowGhost is trying to kite back, but he will be losing all of this army. GG is called, and Kacpeross will be taking the series 2-1 and advancing to the finals. GG, really nicely played there by Kacpeross. But once again, I feel like I've said that before, a bit of a deja vu. Once HollowGhost loses all the tanks, he's not really willing to remake them, and I'm not sure if that's good. Like, definitely it felt like those tanks do a lot for him in the defensive position, and he wasn't really remaking them afterwards. So, yeah, but still, very nicely played from HollowGhost. I mean, it was a 2-1, so it was a very, very nice close series. But with that, that means that we are now reaching the finals, the grand finals of the tournament, the final match. But before that, we have something else to do. I actually did set up our raffle. I believe it should be ready. So, we're gonna start with the raffle right now. Let me just quickly bring up the box. There it is! We have our $5 random participant raffle. What that means is, every time we make a tournament, whether it's Sea Duckling Open, Masters Swan Open, or Sparking Tuna Cup, each of those tournaments has the $5 random participant raffle. What that means is that if you participate in the tournament, no matter if you got first or last or somewhere in the middle, no matter what place you took, as long as you played at least one full series, you are eligible for the random raffle. Again, it's completely random, so it can be someone from the finals, it can be someone from the first round. And yeah, we'll see who it is today. As you can see on the screen right now, we have 5 eligible players that have signed up and participated today. We didn't have any no-shows, so that's very nice. With that, I will now randomize. And our winner is... I do not have a drum roll. I have to find that like sound clip for a drum roll. But our winner today is... Mitsurugi! Congratulations to Mitsurugi! One of our finalists today, so our finalist is getting a little bit richer this time. And I mean, condolences to the runner-ups. Again, the runner-up part is mostly just for fun. It doesn't have any bearing on the raffle, but there's only one winner, and today it is Mitsurugi. So congratulations! Make sure to join the Macherino either way, because you're also a finalist. And speaking of that, as a reminder, these tournaments are funded two ways. Firstly, the prize pool itself is funded via Patreon. So if you are our patron, you are directly supporting the prize pools of these tournaments, because that's how we are able to run them for so long. We run them every week. We run the amateur tournaments monthly and our STC weekly. So again, that's how we are able to support that prize pool. And additionally, apart from that, we also have Macherino. If you want, if you particularly like specific edition of the tournament, you appreciate how, like, some strategies from the players, or maybe, I don't know, their resilience, or you are also able to support specifically one tournament if you want, if you go to our Macherino page. Exclamation mark in Macherino should be able to bring you to that link. So if you want to support a specific tournament like that, you can also do so as well. With that though, we will be going on a quick little break. We will be setting up the grand finals, and as soon as we are ready, we will be back to play the final series of Sea Duckling Open number 123. See you then. And welcome back! We have solved some technical difficulties during this break, and we are ready for the grand finals of Sea Duckling Open number 123. We have our players, we have our map, and we're loading in. And welcome to Golden Hour. Keep trying to read this in Polish. To Golden Aura LE, as we have the first of our players in the top left, the blue Protoss player representing Team Void and Poland. It's Kacpeross. And on the other side of the map we have the red Protoss player representing Korea. It's Mitsurugi. So our finalists have met before. They seems fine so far. Yeah, we had some technical issues, so we'll be monitoring closely how things go. But so far so good. And yeah, as a reminder, this is the best of 5 series. 1 point advantage goes to Mitsurugi because he's coming from the upper bracket. So we'll see how this PvP goes. Our players have met before in the upper bracket finals, so this is a bit of a rematch. Once again, hugging that gas. No pro is letting go. And we'll see who will be more aggressive, because last time the dynamic was, I mean, both our players were quite aggressive, but it was mostly Mitsurugi who likes his stalkers, he likes the blinks. And Kacpeross prefers slightly different strategies. He had some oracles in his arsenals. He had some adepts. So we'll see what the players go for this time. Again, I suspect Mitsurugi will go for stalkers once again, just because he seems to really like them. Kacpeross has a bit of a different taste in units. Yeah, and we see stalkers on both sides. So stalkers wars it is. As a reminder, both of our finalists will be receiving prize money for the finals. And if you want to support them more, there's always the Macherino link under exclamation mark Macherino. For those currently waiting for World Team League, that is our next broadcast, and we will be broadcasting World Team League right after this Grand Finals finishes. So the way it works, because World Team League is casted from a clean feed, we will just, start from the beginning of the clean feed, and we will just, you know, try to minimize the breaks between the matches so we can possibly maybe catch up, or at least have as the least delay to the live happenings as possible. But we will most likely be a bit behind what is happening live, so no spoilers in the chat. The World Team League is coming right after this tournament. Meanwhile, Kacpeross already starting with aggression, watching these two stalkers across the map, doing some damage on Mitsurugi, but nothing happening quite yet. And also, Mitsurugi decided to go for a natural this time. Remember, Mitsurugi was the more aggressive player previously, but it looks like it's Kacpeross who's actually delaying that second base and instead going for a Void Ray. He did finish the Oracle, right? No, he didn't finish the Oracle. He cancelled the Oracle. He went for the Void Ray instead. Very interesting choice. Also, as a reminder, because World Team League is about to start, if you want to join our prediction game in the Discord, we do have a prediction game. We keep score every week and we will have a winner at the end of the season. Make sure to join our Discord, go to the Tournament Spoilers channel, and you should be able to find the thread where we post our predictions for every week. So you still should be able to do that. I believe it's still before the start time, so make sure to check that out. And if not for today, then you can still join tomorrow and any other World Team League day. Mitsurugi already has Blink and he's going for charge as well, so upgrading all the units. Meanwhile, Kacpeross is focusing on the army itself. He's bringing the Void Ray. He actually has two already, together with the Stalkers and the Sentries. And it looks like he will try to be aggressive. We have some Stalkers from Mitsurugi, we have shield batteries as well. But I actually have no idea how they fare against Void Rays. Now, the hallucinated Immortal is very cute, but I don't think Mitsurugi is quite falling for it. He does fall back to the batteries though. The probes are being pulled off the lines, the Stalkers are being focused by the Void Rays, but the Stalkers of Kacpeross are falling down to the probes. And none of the probes are dying, only 2 have died for now, and now it's just Stalkers versus Stalkers. Kacpeross' attack gets completely denied. That was a really nice defense from Mitsurugi there. He focused the right units, he made sure the Void Rays went down, and the probes are actually able to do the rest. Also, as much as I'm against killing creatures, I mean, yeah, I got scared by that crab too. It did look like a unit coming in. And yeah, Kacpeross is forced to go back home. His attack did not pay off, and he lost both of the Void Rays as well as quite a few Stalkers and the Sentries. So, not a nice start, but we're not done yet. Oh, actually, my bad. Mitsurugi never finished the Blink. He did cancel it in favor of charge. Did he finish charge? He did. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was a bit too early to have both. Now Mitsurugi is on the offensive. There is one Immortal though already finished for Kacpeross, so he has to be careful about that, but judging by how he jumps on tanks, I can definitely see him jump on an Immortal as well. But not until Blink is finished. So it looks like we will have a bit of a... I'm gonna call it a pause because pause suggests something else, but we're gonna have a bit of a calmer time as both our players decide to take up. You know, Mitsurugi wants to get some Immortals of his own, I believe. And Kacpeross wants to strengthen his army as well. Already have two Immortals on the map. Sending some Adepts to Mitsurugi as well. He will try his best to get some damage done. The Stalkers of Mitsurugi just barely missing them as well. Oh. Yeah, the attack is coming close, and Kacpeross is dancing between his natural and third base. But at the same time, the Adepts distract Mitsurugi for long enough, and they will be dealt with quite quickly, but it gives a little bit more time. Ooh, nice blink forward, but no, now only the Immortal gets sniped down. The first one was a Stalker, I believe, but still, that's one Immortal less for Kacpeross. Really nice blink there from Mitsurugi. He did pay with tokens for it, so it's not ideal. But still, you know, pretty good. He also has all these zealots at home and a war priest now, so he will now charge forward, he will have the reinforcements, and is Kacpeross ready? That forward base is not protected, he's focusing all his forces in the natural, he has a lot of adepts, funnily enough. He's only now getting the Twilight Council, so this may be a rough fight. And now Mitsurugi is marching forward. There are a lot of zealots. Some of them are stuck between the stalkers, but they are able to go forward now. Ooh, once again blinking forward. He tries to focus down those sentries. He tries to focus down these immortals, but not quite able to get them yet. Now the first immortal of the two immortals falls down. The second one is under attack, and the shield battery is not able to overpower all these targets from Mitsurugi. So we have an interesting dynamic here where we have mostly adept army versus the Stalkers. In the meantime though, as I was focusing on the attack, so was Kacpeross, and it looks like a lot of the probes are falling down to the Zealots, and that's enough. Mitsurugi will be taking game number 1, I guess, and, you know, putting a second point on his side. So this is very important. This is a match point for Mitsurugi. So from now on, Kacpeross cannot lose a single game. As a reminder, Kacpeross has already won 2 SDOs before. So, you know, he's definitely a strong opponent on his own. Like, you know, this might have been a quick game, but Kacpeross has already won 2 of these tournaments already. Versus this opponent as well. So... we are, you know, making sure that everything works. Making sure there are no tech issues for either of the players. I mean, you know, there are some things that are not in our control, but at least we try our best to make sure that the tech issues are not a problem. We are just sorting things with our players, so stay tuned. I'm sorry for not speaking much, but I am discussing with our players about some things that are happening, because unfortunately it looks like the NA server is not the most stable today. That does happen every now and then, especially if you're playing from a different server, and both of our players actually are, because, you know, we have one from Europe, one from Korea. So actually, give me 2 minutes to sort this out before we come back to the series. See you soon.